Have you ever wondered why, despite everything you have, you still feel at times that it's not enough, that you're surrounded by people, yet still you feel alone? Maybe you smile today, but deep inside something hurts. Maybe you posted a photo, but you know it doesn't tell the truth. We look at each other and imagine that everyone else's life is better, cleaner, happier, more complete. But what if I told you that all of us, every single one, carry the same emptiness? It's time to stop comparing ourselves to others, because in truth, everyone you know is secretly unhappy. They're fading inside. And don't get me wrong, you might be one of them too. I've been there, at different points in my life. Most of us have gone through that phase, but we need to stop comparing ourselves to these characters we see around us. I'm not talking about fake accounts or generated identities. I mean real people, genuine people, presenting themselves in false ways. What I'm trying to say is that nowadays, we all carry in our pockets a device that lets us create an identity entirely different from the life we actually live. When we go online and scroll through social media, we see the same kind of content we all consume, and I'm no exception. Social media is where this shows up most. Everyone is displaying a beautiful, perfect life, and others watch and wish they had the same. Weekend getaways, cafes in foreign cities, happy couple selfies, perfectly arranged breakfast tables, laughing kids in matching clothes, a partner who always seems loving and kind, a never-ending display of beautiful moments, and all of it, every single day. That's what we see, and that's what we compare ourselves to. But we need to understand, first and foremost, that none of it is real. It doesn't reflect those people's actual lives. Because if you know them in real life, you'll notice their lives aren't perfect. Their families aren't perfect. Their kids aren't always calm or polite. They don't have abs year-round or flawless bodies. And they're definitely not as happy and fulfilled as they seem online. And we can't really blame them. They're not lying. Maybe some parts of their life are like that. The real problem starts when we compare ourselves to these highlight reels, to these curated moments of happiness. Because in reality, all of us go through ups and downs. But more than that, most people are simply unhappy. I know this from personal experience, and I've seen it happen again and again around me. People are fundamentally unhappy because today's society is built in a way that forces you to work. And work itself isn't a bad thing. It's necessary. It gives us a reason to wake up each morning. I worked for 30 years, and those years shaped me. I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. But when you're forced to work, when you have no choice, because you're buried in debt, because you have responsibilities, because everything has become unaffordable, then work turns into a burden. And maybe you end up taking a job you don't like just to pay the bills. Maybe you need 2 jobs, or even 3. And then there's no time left for yourself, no time to relax, to reflect, to pursue the things that actually bring you joy. No time for family, no time for friends. And it doesn't stop there. There are many other reasons why people feel miserable. One of them is the obsession with possessions. We chase after things, hoping they'll make us happy. And when we get them, we're just as empty as before. Another reason is relationships. It's getting harder and harder to find people you truly connect with. We live in huge cities, in buildings with thousands of people, all connected to the internet, to phones, to computers. And yet, we feel more alone than ever. We're surrounded by people, but we feel alone. We have friends, but we can't open up to anyone. We get into relationships, and they become toxic. We feel like our partner doesn't understand us, and maybe the very thing that connects us is the thing that isolates us the most. It turns us inward. It feeds our ego. It tears apart real connection. It traps us in a digital prison. And that is the real problem. The only place we feel valued and accepted is online. The only place where our life looks perfect is inside that digital prison. And once you've created that persona, that beautiful, idealized version of yourself, your real life starts to feel like a letdown. Because it isn't flawless. It isn't always bright. Real life isn't constant sunshine and rainbows. You don't wake up happy every single day. Some days you're sad. Some days bored. Some days just present. That's reality. But when you take the best moments of your life, wrap them in a shiny box, and post them for the world to see, then that box becomes the only place where you feel alive. And the moment you step outside it, everything falls apart because there's no more validation. And you become addicted to your phone, addicted to social media, because only there you feel like you matter. And it turns into a cycle, a trap you can't escape, because the last thing you want to feel is that you're not good enough, that your life isn't enough. So you keep your eyes glued to the screen, chasing confirmation. It's a vicious circle. You build a prison, and then you remain trapped in it. And when you try to leave, real life hits you, and you feel even more empty. But the real reason we're unhappy isn't because life has ups and downs. It's not because life isn't perfect. It's because we've created a prison. We don't know how to escape. Unless we put the phone down, unless we face the addiction, unless we accept that life is imperfect, that there will be good moments and bad ones, that sometimes we'll want to give up. But that's exactly what makes life interesting. If everything were always perfect, nothing would be special. It would all just feel normal, meaningless. It's the contrast that makes the good parts truly good, and the hard parts valuable. And somewhere in the middle, we find peace. But recognizing this isn't enough. You also have to understand something deeper, that it doesn't matter what others think of you. That's the key. Stop comparing yourself to others. Only compare yourself to yourself, to who you were yesterday. That's it. Because if you're always watching what others are doing, you'll feel like you have to outdo them, get more, be more, prove more. And that's how you build your own prison. But when you realize that 80% of people don't care about your problems, and the other 20% are secretly glad you have them, you feel something shift. You feel free. Because it means you don't have to compare yourself anymore. You can live life on your own terms, create your own version of reality, and not care what anyone else thinks about it. You can live a life that's true to you. Because when you post only the pretty parts of your life, you're not doing it for others. You're doing it for yourself, to prove that your life is better than it feels, to convince yourself that you're worthy. But the truth is, you're already enough, exactly as you are. We don't all need the same things in life to feel whole. What makes one person happy won't necessarily make another person happy. The joys we feel and the reasons behind them are different for everyone. So for me, a perfect life simply means a life lived on my own terms, a life where no one else has power over me, where no opinion, no judgment has control over the way I live. That's freedom. And no, that doesn't mean I'll be happy all the time, or always fulfilled, or that I won't face hard moments. It just means everything I do for myself, not for anyone else. And I only compare myself to me. That's what liberates you. And if we could all live that way, maybe we'd stop showing just the polished parts of our lives. Maybe we'd also show what hurts. And maybe that would help us realize that we don't have to be perfect. We don't need to have it all. Because the most amazing thing in life is life itself. Just the fact that we're here is a miracle. So why would we want to live a life shaped by someone else? Because when we compare ourselves to others, we let them dictate our choices. We give them power over us. And sometimes we end up making decisions, not for ourselves, but to fit into what society expects. But today's social norms, they're toxic. Hookup culture, toxic relationships, toxic jobs, negativity, division. And when we let those things seep into our daily lives, is it any wonder we're unhappy? One of the most powerful lessons I've learned is to be grateful for what I have. And if something doesn't feel right, to remember I have the power to change it. Even if I was dealt a bad hand, I can choose to play again. I can create a different life. And maybe it won't be easy, but it's possible. And sometimes, what matters even more than being grateful for what you do have is learning to appreciate what you don't. Maybe someone walked out of your life. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe that promotion slipped through your fingers. Maybe your bank account is empty. Maybe you feel empty. But 10, 15 years from now, you might look back and realize that was the best thing. That could have happened to you. Because sometimes we need to fall hard in order to learn. And the lessons we learn in pain, those are the ones that stay, the ones that shape who we become. So yes, when it hurts, you grow. And maybe the only things that can truly free us from the prison we built ourselves are acceptance and gratitude. In the end, the choice is ours. We can walk the same path as everyone else, like sheep headed off a cliff. Or we can leave the road entirely and carve our own. I did that. And only then did I finally see the true beauty of the world. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to support what I do, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If something you heard today felt like it was about you, stay, listen, come back. In the beginning, it was just me. Now, we're here together. This isn't a place for crowds, only truths. Truths that sit quietly, in silence. Until next time. I hope you find your own way too.